Good evening, my fellow friends, my fellow neighbors, and my fellow shining stars. The 8th month of 2020 is upon us, and of course, it is the next trolley stop. The next trolley stop is now. Welcome back to the Empowered Publicity Children's Book Spotlight Series. Welcome to an all-new episode of the Children's Book Spotlight Series here at Empowered Publicity, episode number 87. My name is Jonathan Masiulionis, the president here at Empowered Publicity. Thank you so much for spending some time with us wherever you are and wherever you may be. It is shortly after 7 o'clock Eastern Time, the 3rd of August. Again, where is this time going? It is the 8th month of 2020. A special shout out to our friends on the West Coast, especially out in San Diego, California, shortly after 4 o'clock Pacific Time. Again, Monday evening, the 3rd of August. We are officially kicking off our back to school season at Empowered Publicity. Now I know, many kids, little ones, if you guys are tuning in tonight, you might be a little bummed. You might be saying, Mr. Jonathan, we're going back to school, right? It is such a time of excitement. It's a time of new beginnings. It's a time of moving forward. So we're really excited to be able to share some really special episodes of the Children's Book Spotlight Series over the coming weeks ahead to be able to help and support all of the parents, all of the educators out there, especially all of the little ones out there, as of course the back to school season officially begins. I know it's already back to school in certain parts of the country right now. And by the time that Labor Day happens, all the kids will be situated in either in the virtual setting, again, the physical in-person setting, or a hybrid of all of the above. So tonight and this week, we're going to be sharing a very timely message. Every single time I like to believe that there's a full moon in the sky, which I refer to as La Luna, which means the moon. Every single time that there is a full moon in the sky, there's a series of magic and miracles that always happen for each and every one of us. Of course, we still have another month or so left in the summer of magic and miracles. One of our newest neighbors is joining us here tonight and this week to help us remember to not only shine our light, but to also share it with the world. We're very much stepping into the next steps of our soul's mission, our life's purpose. And that very much means we're no longer dulling our sparkle, we're shining our light, and we're sharing it with the world. And of course, one of the things we love to do of many here at the Children's Book Spotlight Series is share some brand new heartfelt and heart-centered children's books, and of course, interview the authors and the illustrators that help bring these to life. So tonight, something very special, because we're not only going to be talking about an amazing new children's book, but it's an amazing new children's coloring book as well, too. A brand new release, I Am Light, I Am Bright. It is now available at Amazon.com. You can color along just like I did. And yes, make sure that you have, if you're using colored pencils, just one of the things that I've realized is that when you are utilizing colored pencils, that you have a pencil sharpener handy. You got to kind of get back into the swing of things after you haven't colored for, it's probably been at least 10 years, if not longer. But the beautiful heart who has helped to bring this wonderful message to life once again, I Am Light, I Am Bright. The brand new release, it is now available. You can head on over to Amazon.com. Melanie Lococo is joining us here as our featured guest here on episode number 87 of the Children's Books Spotlight Series. I am really looking forward to sharing all of these wonderful messages that are actually contained in I Am Light, I Am Bright. We encourage all of you, our listeners and viewers, our friends and neighbors, in the process, one of the many ways that you can be of support to all of the children's authors that appear here on the Empowered Publicity Children's Book Spotlight Series, and just children's authors and illustrators across the board, is to head on over to Amazon.com and to leave a 5-star review in the process. That is just one of the many ways that you can help and support children's authors and children's illustrators right now across the country and around the world. Tonight, we're going to be talking about such amazing themes such as the healing power, the healing energies that are found in coloring, the benefits of positive affirmations. And it's interesting, there's so much light in this conversation today. There's so much light. Did I mention there's a full moon? there's a lot happening from Buffalo to San Diego right now at this particular time. Melanie, this is such a wonderful message that you're sharing. And first of all, thank you for spending some time with us here this evening and this week as our featured guest here on the Children's Book Spotlight Series. We really appreciate it.
Oh, you're so welcome, Jonathan. Thank you. And a shout out to Diane Ray from Unity Radio for connecting us together. I met her when I was working at Hay House, and she did such a magnificent job as the manager of the radio station. So thank you, Diane Ray, for that. And
Diane's a very special soul.
Yes, she certainly is. And she says the same thing about you. So I'm looking forward to having her listen to our conversation, Jonathan. And I wanted to say that there's a quote that I really love, and it represents you and, Mr. Rogers, and it's, to the world, you may be one person, but to one person, you may be the world. And Mr. Rogers done that with so many children, to be the world. And I want to thank you for being the world to us, to children's authors, to allowing us to shine our light and our message to children and families everywhere around the world, because it's such a blessing and it's such a beautiful way to do that. So thank you for being.
You are so welcome, Melanie, to be able to help and support and guide and really just, since we're talking about light, one of the many blessings that I have the abilities to do as a custodian for children's authors is to be able to place the light on them, to shine the light on them. And your light has been shining brightly for a long period of time. One of the things we love to do with many here at the Children's Book Spotlight Series is to be able to share the road, so to speak, to be able to peel the veil back almost a little bit, to share with our listeners and viewers, our friends and neighbors, about the experience or the series of experiences that actually helped to create this children's book. And there's so much heart, there's so much care, attention to detail in your book. Could you share with our listeners and viewers, with our friends and neighbors, a little bit more of your journey to creating this and really your connection with the children? Was there a specific event in your life that said, this book, this message needs to come out? Or was it just a series of events over the course of your natural life, and just one day you kind of got, like, the light bulb went on and you said, now it's time to bring this into form and shape?
Yes. Well, what happened is, about a year and a half ago, I was in a book club with about 10 wonderful women, and we decided to study Dr. Wayne Dyer's book, The Power of Intention, who is our mutual teacher and wonderful man. And I had the opportunity to actually travel with him in a taxi in London. And perhaps I can share that story sometime to really share with you what a magnificent person he is still, even though he passed away. And I went into myself because he said that in life, everybody has a song inside of them. And everybody has a book inside of them. Everybody has a story. So as the other women were creating different things in their lives, I went inside and I said, okay, what do I want to create that will help others? And that can kind of tell a little bit about my story. So I decided to go within and say, I'm going to write a children's story about children to believe in themselves and to find their purpose, and then to share it with others. Because when I was young, I didn't feel like I really fit in. I felt like I was different from a lot of other kids for a couple reasons. One is that I was learning in school, but I wasn't really thriving in school, and my parents were really helping me, but I had some learning disabilities, or just I was a little slow. And so I said, there's probably other little children out there too that feel like sometimes that they don't fit in, or that they're alone, or they're unique. And then in addition to that, I'm adopted. And I was 3 days old when I was adopted by my wonderful family. And even though they loved me unconditionally, I always felt kind of different. And I didn't see people that looked like me when I was growing up. Actually, at the time, I was considered illegal to mix the races of a person of color and a European person together. It was illegal. Trevor Noah talks about it in his book, Born a Crime. And the fact is that I didn't see anybody that looked like me. I didn't have any role models. And so I said, what can I do to help children that feel different, that feel out of place, that feel lonely, that feel sometimes like they don't belong or they're not good enough or whatever, to realize that they can be a shining star. And I remember, Jonathan, I would have these nights where I would be in bed and I would be like calling to God, saying, God, show me what you want me to do. Help me. I have work to do. I want to be, I'm your child. How can I help others? And soon after I made that call, I think I was about 9 or 10 years old, I was led to the teachings of a wonderful person called Paramahansa Yogananda. And Wayne Dyer, actually, when he would write his books, he would say that he would put Paramahansa Yogananda's picture there, along with Emerson and some other folks there. And so very good company. So I was introduced to his teachings, and what I loved so much was that in my night where I was so lonely or sad or calling out to God, Paramahansa Yogananda would say, you are a divine child of God. You have a spark within you. And that spark, as you develop it, as you go within and close your eyes and go within and start to meditate, you start to glow. And then you share that light and love with others. So from being sad and being alone, I have a dear friend, a teacher, who now is the person who I follow. And this book is dedicated to him and Wayne Dyer and to all the children that have ever felt alone or felt different.
I give you a lot of credit and first of all, thank you for sharing from your heart, and thank you for sharing your vulnerability. I feel that we're at a very important time in our society, in our civilization, across the board. The way in which we used to view things as if we were picked on, hurt, traumatized, we would suppress that, and it would prevent us from shining our light. Yes. And from sharing our gifts. Now we realize that's just an illusion. We realize that that's not the truth. And if anything, now it's like we're doing our part to take. Some people may say you turn your pain into passion or your test into a testimony. So that those might be more cliche, polished expressions. But we all came here with music in our hearts. And one of the threads that you had alluded to was, Wayne Dyer, and I believe him and his daughter Serena put a book together called "Don't Die with Your Music Still in You." And this is also, if I may share, several years ago, I actually purchased an essential oil diffuser necklace. There is a salt cave that's here in the Western New York area, and they have different essential oil diffuser necklaces, and this has musical notes on it. So it's my reminder every morning when I wake up and I put this on. It's a matter of saying, okay, Jonathan, you still have music inside of you. Yes. You need to be able to share it. When this message came to your heart and you said, all right, let's take this and put this into a reality. Whenever anyone is doing something for the first time, whether it be they start their own business, they write their first book, they become a parent for the first time, just anything you do, there's always either trepidation or nerves, or there might be a series of challenges, difficulties, obstacles, problems, stressors, troubles, worries, you name it, where you might say, all right, God, am I on the right path? Is this book meant to come out? Am I meant to be doing the right thing? One of the things that we also love doing here at the Children's Book Spotlight series is for those that are tuning in and watching that are in the process of putting their first book together, or they're starting their first business, or they're just trying something new, what were some of the challenges and the difficulties that you faced in the creation process, putting everything together, and what were some of the things that helped you to get through to the other side of those challenges and difficulties, Melanie?
That's a great question. Well, because I wanted to focus on a story about a little star that was alone and then had other stars teach her the star way, I was looking at how can I collaborate and get the best illustrator? So the story came I've had that story in my heart for many years, but I was looking for the right illustrator. And so it's interesting that we're actually celebrating the 30th anniversary of the American with Disabilities Act, because my illustrator and my mentee, who I helped actually to find a job, Sarah Bradigam, she is on the autism spectrum and a very talented artist. And we worked together. I helped her find a job, and she came to me and with a challenge saying, Melanie, I really want to do my artwork, but it can't support me and I need to stop it. And I said, Sarah, but you love painting. You love your artwork. This is who you are. You have a degree in it. I mean, encouraged her to do her passion. And so she and I talked about it, and she said, well, I'd love to, see your story. So I shared my story with her. She read it. We, because we were working together, we got permission that we could actually work together. And so she did some sketches, and we would meet and go over those sketches. And it took a period of time. And the collaboration with illustrator and author is really a special connection there. And so there wasn't really so much of a challenge, but more of an excitement about, like, I would say, well, I'd really love it if it was more this way, or, I see it, this is my vision for it. And then she would go back and she would do it. She would recreate it, and then she would go ahead and show me. And then we decided that it would be a coloring book, so children could color and design it the way that they wanted to. So what I would say is that once you have your story, because the story just came out naturally for me, and then the next step is finding an illustrator that you can connect with. And because this story has to do with not feeling so confident about oneself, being alone, and then gaining the confidence through affirmations, through learning how to shine your light and how to go within that other stars teach them. That's kind of what Sarah and I did. She taught me and I taught her. And then that's why I do what I do, which is mentor adults and children with disabilities, and also families on the adoption spectrum, because that's what we do. We help one another to shine our light.
I'm so glad that you had the opportunities to share your work as a mentor, especially for mentoring for children and mentoring those who have disabilities, because there's, sometimes we feel that we only have one specific, like our life purpose has to be one thing. Mm-hmm. And it could land up being a collection of things under one umbrella, especially if one is a life purpose for the children in the process. Again, for those of our friends and neighbors or listeners and viewers who are just tuning in, welcome to episode number 87 of the Empowered Publicity Children's Book Spotlight Series. Our featured guest here this evening and this week is Melanie Lococo. She is an amazing children's author and mentor out in the San Diego, California area. There's something about San Diego, by the way. Again, I Am Light, I Am Bright, such a beautiful children's book and coloring book. It is now available. You can head on over to Amazon.com to purchase your copy. And while there, if you feel guided to do so, you can leave your 5-star review in the process. I love the backdrop of the story because, sometimes when we think of coloring books, there's just okay, here's Superman and I'm going to color his cape, or here is Bugs Bunny and we're going to color his ears like a light sky blue. But this has a hybrid of coloring as well as a story. And we're introduced to Stara, who is a star that's just starting along on her path, and she feels alone. There's some insecurities that she has. She has some fears. She's wondering, there's this big sky, this big everything that's around me. And I'm just this little teeny tiny star. And she comes across members of the galactic family. She's introduced to Cosmos, the father of the galactic family. And from there, she's introduced to Polestar. So not to spoil the book in any way, shape, or form, but there's different fellow star beings that she comes across that really helps to remind her that she has everything that she needs right now. And it's just a matter of reconnecting to that light in the process, especially with what is happening amid the current climate right now. Why do you believe that it's important to shine your light and share it with others at this particular point in time?
Well, with everything that's going on right now, a lot of the children are very stressed, and the parents are too. And so as an activity that they could do together, they can color it together, they can read the story aloud, they can even sing the song. For instance, we just have a song that we're going to be publishing pretty soon with Tamaris McDowell. She's fabulous. And I'd love to sing a little bit of it, the chorus, which it goes, I am light, I am bright, I guide travelers home at night, I glow, so everyone will know just where to go. So, music helps us to just feel free and light and reduces our stress. So during this time, to sing, to dance, to celebrate together at home, to color is one way that we can shine our light. And especially with the people with disabilities or, children that feel that they can be someone. That's what I really want to share that with. And it's also in Spanish. We're going to be printing that soon, and in Italian too. Yes.
Wonderful. It was interesting because as we were discussing in the Empowered Publicity Green Room, I hadn't colored in quite a long period of time. It may even be actually longer than 10 years. And interestingly enough, yesterday was National Coloring Book Day. Now, bear in mind, we had set up the date of this interview weeks ago, not knowing that yesterday was National Coloring Day. Now, again, one of the things there's many things that we've been learning over these past several months during our time at home, the extended quarantine. We've really been tuning inward. We've been seeing what's real and what's not real, so to speak. The old school vantage point was that coloring is just for kids. It's something that helps children, and it's a fun activity. But coloring, it provides so many redeeming, rewarding, and even healing qualities for adults too. And I felt that, on the theme of National Coloring Book Day, and of course with I Am Light, I Am Bright being a part coloring book as well, could you share with our listeners and viewers, with our friends and neighbors, some of the specific healing benefits of coloring for both children and adults, and why you feel that coloring is just very important also at this particular point in time too?
Yes. Well, coloring, the research shows that when you color, you actually reduce your stress and anxiety. Okay. And what you're doing is you're focusing, you're quietly, or even with friends, just doing the coloring. And what it does is that it helps you to step away from the computers, all the electronics, and just to be relaxing. It helps to actually balance the left and right sides of the brain. It can even increase your ability to get a good night's sleep, Jonathan. And I think that during these times, I'm hearing so much about parents and kids having some difficulty sleeping. So if you are able to do some coloring, it will help sleep. It will help to improve a sense of well-being and peace. You breathe, you focus, and you can be creative, very creative in the coloring book. So like with I Am Bright, I Am Light, I have seen lots of different ways that children color. They paint, they put little stars and stickies on there, they put glitter on it. So you can be very creative in that process as well. And one of the things that I love so much is that when adults color, they tap in to the creativity when they were a child. So they return to the place of being childlike, and they can bond with their children in that way too. So coloring is a beautiful thing. I've been teaching art and stress management for staff in the county of San Diego for a few years. And every time I'm with them and we go through a guided imagery of a positive experience that they've had, they have a piece of paper, they have the coloring and the crayons and the markers, and they have this image, a beautiful image that they create, and it's focused on a wonderful memory. And when they do that, they have this peace, this tremendous peace, and then they share their stories. They keep it in their office, and every time they look at that, which every time you look at I Am Light, I Am Bright, it brings back that positive feeling. It reinforces it like an affirmation. So coloring is so beneficial for your mental health, for your well-being, for your creativity, for fun.
And I was just going to say, it's absolutely fun. And as I had shared with you in the Empowered Publicity Green Room, I took a series of colored pencils and I didn't have a sharpener. So eventually I kind of had to say, all right, I'm going to have to finish this illustration, but this is, I believe it is Shiny and Stara, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. That's right. Nice. Love it.
I picked out my personal favorite illustration and just put my own personal interpretation on it. And that's, one of the great things also about coloring as well too, is that, one may think, okay, well, Mickey Mouse, he's black and he's got, like the red shorts. I'm actually looking at a little Mickey Mouse in front of me because I had to ask, like, what does Mickey Mouse look like and what are his colors? But, let's say if you want something to be a different color, it always leaves room for interpretation. And I think that especially now, and you briefly touched upon this, is that as children are going back to school, right, there is this sense of collective unease to a certain extent, and we can either feed into that, or we can do our part to be able to provide some reassurance for the children, some support that everything is going to turn out okay, right? Everything always has a way of working itself out, and I feel that coloring, especially right now, I'm also really intrigued to see how we really shift the way in which we teach our children, because a lot of the things that we've taught our children for years, it's outdated. It's really not in alignment anymore. So things like, I always say that if, I was the headmaster of a school, I would have, one period a day just reading like children's books, or one part being coloring. Like, these are the sorts of things, as you said, there's the many different health benefits, and it's just fun in the process as well too. You had touched upon the fact about affirmations. And of course, when people think of affirmations, we touched upon Dr. Wayne Dyer. Of course, when people think of Dr. Wayne Dyer, they also think of Louise Hay, who of course was the founder of Hay House. And, both her and Dr. Wayne Dyer helped to remind us for years, and they're still doing this from the other side. Whenever we say the phrase, I am, it is one of the most powerful statements out there. Wayne Dyer would talk about the old Morse code. He was in the military for several years, and he would talk about the Morse code, the da 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 da, I am stupid. Dot, da, 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 da. I am not bright. Dot, da, 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 da. I am poor. Dot, da, 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 da. No one loves me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a matter of being able to rewire our brain, our synapses, and to be able to shift the perspective. Because as Dr. Dyer said, when you change your thoughts, you change your life.
That's right.
Mental health has become a paramount. Mental health was always important before. And then COVID-19 happened. And depending upon where different people are at on their path, whether it be they lost a loved one, whether it be they lost their job, whether it be their spouse lost their job, whether it be the proverbial divine storm where different things are happening all together and it may look like everything is going wrong. How can positive affirmations help to improve one's mental health amid the current climate?
Well, that's a really good question. And affirmations, Dr. Wayne Dyer, Louise Hay, who is a mentor to me, I traveled the world with her, and I saw firsthand how she used affirmations. And I'd like to share that story with you, actually.
Please do.
Okay, so I was with her at an I Can Do It conference. It's an annual Hay House event. It's wonderful. Thousands of people would go. And I was with her and attending to her and traveling with her. And there was one time that I lost my glasses. I couldn't find my glasses. And I looked in my purse and I couldn't find my glasses. And I said, "I'm sorry, Louise, but I don't have my glasses. I'm looking for my glasses." And she stopped. She was very regal. And she put up her hands and said, "I know where your glasses are. Your glasses are found easily and effortlessly now." I mean, with such power. And I'm going, I'd never seen her like that before. I've seen her in many ways of being regal and powerful, but I mean, that affirmation. And so I went, oh my gosh. So I said, you know what? I'll look in my purse one more time. So I looked into my purse and there they were, Jonathan. My glasses were right there. I didn't see them. So the power of affirmations, just from her saying that, affirming it so strongly, I tried it again and I looked. And I think that with affirmations like I am light, I am bright, what it does is that it really connects you with your heart-centeredness. And it takes away as we repeat it over and over again, because Wayne would say we must repeat the affirmation to get rid of the negativity, the anxiety, the fear that we all have. So if we were to say, and perhaps you and I could do it, we could even try it. So you just keep your feet flat on the ground and you tap into your heart. You could close your eyes and we could say, I am light. I am bright. I glow. I glow. I know. I know. Can we say that together?
Sure.
I am light. I am bright.
I glow.
Glow. I glow.
Glow.
I know.
No.
I know.
I know.
And when we keep doing that, as we touch into our heart, we actually start to glow. And that's what happens in the story. At first, Stara, she tried it. Someone showed her how to do it, one of her fellow friends, Stars. But when she actually could do it herself and even had a challenge where she had to find her way and really glow within, that's the effort that she made, saying, I am light, I am bright. This is what stars do. I glow. Then the power comes through and she's able to do a miraculous thing that she didn't think that she could do and help others. So the affirmations come from within. We practice, we repeat, and we continue to make the effort and believe that we can make the change that we want to make in our life, and to make our lives better and brighter.
Thank you for sharing that too, Melanie. And I think it's very important because I can sense that, especially leading into the beginning of August, people have different concerns right now, whether it be the little ones going back to school. Some people may fear the second wave of COVID-19 coming in. There's the holiday season that's forthcoming, right? There might be people that are tuning in and watching and saying, Melanie, Jonathan, these are just affirmations. How are affirmations going to pay the bills, right?
Yes, right.
I think it's a matter of, one of the things that I always encourage our friends and neighbors, our listeners and viewers, is to suspend disbelief for at least 7 days. A thing that Wayne Dyer referred to it as like a spiritual science experiment. That if there's something that you're moving through, not saying to not pay attention to it, but to suspend the disbelief, the belief that you have, okay, well, what if the affirmations don't work? Suspend that disbelief for 7 days and just imagine that, okay, if I try this for 7 days, if anything, at the end of that 7 days, you're going to feel better about yourself. So you're just at least checking that one box in the process. It's also important that there is a commitment that's in place. And that's another thing that I wanted to touch upon, your thoughts on. It's been said that either 14 days or 30 days, depending upon what cup of tea you drink, in order to be able to create a new healthy pattern, it takes time. So you can't say, I love myself just, a couple of times in one day if for whatever reason you weren't loving yourself for 10 years or for 20 years or for your entire natural life. It takes time to be able to do that. What are some suggestions, some tips that you can share with our listeners and viewers, our friends and neighbors, when it comes to being able to stay connected to your inner light?
Well, I would say, Jonathan, is that by reading I Am Light, I Am Bright from the get-go, the affirmations there help to connect you to yourself. And I just wanted to share with you what one of my favorite colorings is the very end when Stara actually, here's Stara here, she helps the astronauts come back. She actually says, lean on me and I will guide you home. The power of affirmations, when she kept believing in herself, even though she was bullied by the Big Dipper, she was able to get the astronauts back home. And then she is thanked by people from all over the world. And what affirmations do is they keep you connected to yourself in a real practical way. I mean, she's very practical. She brought those astronauts home because she believed in herself and actually made the action to do it. So for parents and children, the message here is to, no matter what happens, no matter if we're going through COVID, if we're going through disaster, storms, whatever, remember, in the eye of the hurricane, it's peaceful. In the eye of the hurricane, we need to get there. We need to get to to be in the eye of the hurricane, to be able to make that switch to a better life. And so we need to be strong. We need to practice. We need to make that commitment to doing affirmations. And it's difficult at first. It takes about 21 days to actually make it into a habit. But, we just do our best, one step at a time. And I Am Light, I Am Bright is actually a way, it shows you how you can make affirmations a daily part of your life. And I've gotten lots of feedback, positive feedback from families that say that they love reading it together. There's children in my neighborhood that have actually done chalk drawings on their outside of their right where they're parking, on the asphalt, and I'll drive by and walk by, and I've given the books to them, and they'll have little stars and shiny out there, and so they're living it by doing it. And by reading it, and they read it at night, they read it during the day. So that's what I would recommend is to continue on no matter what, whether we're in this COVID situation or not. We practice and we have it as a commitment.
One of the things, of course, that we're talking about here in our time together on episode number 87 of the Children's Book Spotlight series, the overall theme of our conversation tonight and this week, Melanie, is shine your light and share it with others. And if I may take a page out of our favorite neighbor, Mr. Rogers, he would use the phrase, it's such a good feeling.
Yeah.
Acknowledging the fact that when you shine your light and when you share it with others, it really is a good feeling. What is it meant for you right now? You know, you obviously put this together not knowing everything that would have been happening over the course of the past 5 months, but knowing the fact that you were genuinely making a difference in the lives of children, parents, families, adults that just, might be experiencing some form of trauma, small, medium, large, or extra large, so to speak. What has this meant to you? Knowing that your perseverance, everything that you moved through on your own personal and your own personal journey in your career, what is this meaning? What is this meant to you to be able to share this message right now with those in need?
Well, with Sarah, my illustrator, wonderful, she and I collaborated together to inspire people with disabilities to believe in themselves and to actually be able to share their talents, their skills and abilities no matter what, and to really focus on their abilities. And she did such a beautiful job with this. And for me to be able to, didn't she? Oh, she's so wonderful. I wish she was here with me. She's working right now, but I wish she was here to join us. And she felt so strongly that to be on the autism spectrum means that you have talents and gifts and to share them. And in this year of the 30th anniversary of the Americans with Disability Act, to be able to share this with the world is so meaningful to me. And then on the other aspect of that, there's the theme of adoption, being adopted into a family of stars. It could also relate to children in foster care. Wayne Dyer was in foster care. I could relate to him very much as being adopted. And that we're all in this together. We are one big family, the galactic family here. And we're all one family and we're all in this together. And so what it means to me is sharing this message of family. Family is who you love and who loves you. I love my family. And that there's a family of humanity. And when we share who we are, our creative talents, through books, through messages, through animations, we have an animation through song, that we uplift one another during this time and through all time. So we do have our song inside of us and we do have a message. And I encourage everyone to write a story, to write their story, to sing their song, or dance their dance. And in that, we will all be more happy and more content, and that we'll be able to battle these storms. And no matter what, that we'll be able to get through it with each other, through giving each other support, guidance, protection, love. That's what it's all about.
And then we can get to the point where I just happened to open up a random page in your book where it says, my heart is full of light and peace. And I feel that that is a space that we can get to the collective level, not just the individual level, but the collective level if we take the time to do the work. Again, for those of our friends and neighbors and our listeners and viewers who are tuning in, we are beginning to wind down our time with children's author and mentor Melanie Lococo. We are sharing her brand new release, I Am Light, I Am Bright. It is now available on Amazon.com. While on Amazon, if you feel guided to do so, you can leave a 5-star review for Melanie. That's just one of the many ways that you can be of support to children's authors and illustrators across the country and around the world that are doing amazing things for our children right now in the process. For all of our teachers and librarians and principals that are tuning in, all the educators out there that are doing an amazing job getting ready for the back to school season, if you are interested in facilitating a virtual author visit for Melanie, we've also included her email in the comments below as well, in addition to her Facebook page, so that you can stay connected with Melanie in the process. One of the things that we love to do here, of many, at the Children's Book Spotlight series is we go back to the time where Mr. Rogers, and I feel that he still shares this with us from the other side, when he received his Lifetime Achievement Award at the Daytime Emmys, shortly before he transitioned and passed away. And he did this during different points in time on the neighborhood as well. He encouraged us to take, whether it be 10 seconds or 30 seconds or 60 seconds, and remember those who helped love us into being. So Melanie, you've shared just this wonderful collective support system that you've had. You've kind of mentioned a few people sporadically, so to speak, but who are some of the people that have helped love you into being that you would like to take the time to mention tonight here and this week on the Children's Book Spotlight series?
Oh, thank you, Jonathan. Well, Paramahansa Yogananda, my spiritual teacher, dear friend Dick Meist, Carol Mattori, Louise Hay, Wayne Dyer, Diane Ray, Jill Kramer, so many, Andrea Nichols. There's so many people. Kay Stambaugh, the monks and nuns at Self-Realization Fellowship, my parents, my brothers, and so many of the children. Sarah, I'm so appreciative for Sarah. And my upcoming new book, Jump, Joey, Jump, illustrated beautifully by Amanda Etchler. It's going to be available in the fall, about a little Joey who stays in his mommy's belly because he has a disabled leg, and his friends encourage him to jump out, and he does. And the story is about unconditional love and being bullied and how to deal with bullying and forgiveness, and also what friendship and what true power and compassion is all about. So we're really looking forward to having that available in the fall.
Oh, that's wonderful. You actually hybrided both the who helped love you into being and the future projects that you're working on. You kind of put that all into one, so to speak, which is fantastic. You have given from your heart for so many years, and especially over the course of this past year alone, for children, parents, families, educators, those who have disabilities across the country and around the world. One of the things that we also love to do here, of many, at the Children's Book Spotlight series, is we have a little segment called 3 Wishes, where and this is a little tip of the cap to kind of, it's like a hybrid of Aladdin meets Dr. Wayne Dyer. You know, one of my favorite Disney movies is Aladdin, and I always wanted to have a genie lamp for my entire life. Like who would not want to have a genie lamp, right? So when the Will Smith remake of Aladdin came out, you know, Disney put out one of everything, and lo and behold, here is the genie lamp, right? One of the things that we've been reminded of for years, and Wayne Dyer was just one of the custodians that passed along this message, is that we are all here to be able to help bring into form and shape our heartfelt desires for ourselves and for those that come across our path that we're guided to help, to support, to serve, and in the words of Ram Dass, to help walk home. So you are being given 3 wishes tonight, Melanie, whether it be for yourself, whether it be for your family, your loved ones, for the planet, for humanity, for the collective. What would those 3 wishes be, Melanie?
Wow, Jonathan, this is really special. You didn't tell me about this wonderful surprise. Well, the first wish is that everyone on the planet be healthy, be loved, be protected, and to be light within themselves, and to know that they're never alone, that they have a divine spark within them, and to shine their light. That's the first wish. My second wish is that I am light, I am bright, be available, travel around the world, and that every child can have a copy of this book and to be able to color and to sing it in their own native tongue, to have songs sung, and then I can hear it all over the world, in Africa and Israel, in South America, everywhere. Now we know she's in India and she's in Germany and she's going to Italy, but all over the world. I'd love to see that. And the other wish, this is really something. This is a real stretch, okay? But I'm saying it, it's a wish. A friend of mine brought this up to me and I thought, wow, this would be so exciting if there was a ride at Disneyland called I Am Light, I Am Bright for little tots and little young ones to go through, and there'd be the song and there'd be the stars, and the children could be with their parents and their friends, and they can learn how to shine their light, learn about affirmations, so that by the time they're finished on their trip, on their ride, that they feel, Mama, Daddy, Mama, this is wonderful. And I love Disneyland, and I love I Am Light, I Am Bright. And then everyone gets a book, and then they get the song, and then they get a little star that whenever they feel alone or sad or by themselves, that they can touch this little star and it'll remind them that they are light and bright. Exactly.
Yeah.
So Disney, I love Disney.
Those are very creative wishes. I feel that, we're really living in a time of potent and almost instantaneous manifestation, so to speak, which is very much a blessing, as long as one is directing themselves on, the highest and the best, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I think that, one of the things that your message is really helping all of us with, Melanie, is if I may share before we begin to wind down our time officially, is that it's, we all have a mission. We all have a purpose. Dr. Wayne Dyer referred to it as your Dharma. And I feel that with what we're seeing right now in the world, we know that we are all here for a parenthesis in eternity. And it's a matter of what we do in between the born and transition time frame. And I'm just really excited to see, such amazing people such as yourself moving forward in their life's purpose, because you are providing so much inspiration, so much motivation, courage for those that kind of might be on the fence saying, do I jump? Do I move forward? Do I shine my light? Do I share it with others? It's just a matter of this full moon. It's just like there's no going back beyond this. It's a matter of just sprinting forward and being able to allow yourself to receive the necessary help and support and guidance and resources to ensure that your mission becomes a reality. This has been a wonderful start to the month of August here at Empowered Publicity, our back to school season here on the Children's Book Spotlight series. Just a couple of brief housekeeping notes here before we officially conclude our time here together this evening and this week on the Children's Book Spotlight series. If you are, again, new to the program, you are new to our neighborhood here at Empowered Publicity, and you would like to be able to check out some of your favorite Children's Book Spotlight series that will become your favorites, I want to give a little bit of tip of the cap to one of our newest neighbors all the way out in Ocala, Florida. Such an inspiring individual, a fantastic children's author, Oscar Redden IV, who joined us as our featured guest last Monday on the Children's Book Spotlight series for episode number 86. We shared his inspiring story and the message of his brand new children's book, Albert the Albatross, Attitude Equals Attitude, that is now available at empoweredpublicity.com, where, of course, you can subscribe to us on our official YouTube channel at Empowered Publicity on YouTube. And you can, of course, check out any of your favorite Children's Book Spotlight series episodes that you may have watched previously, or ones that you would just like to be able to catch up on and enjoy for the first time. We're very excited because this fall as well, we are going to be celebrating the 2-year anniversary of the Children's Book Spotlight series. And there's just so much magic that is happening behind the scenes that we look forward to sharing with all of you over the coming weeks and months ahead. So One of the things is, Melanie's brand new children's book is going to be coming out this fall. There is so many wonderful things that will be happening in this final quarter of 2020. So for all of your support that you have been extending here at Empowered Publicity as part of our 6-year anniversary celebration last month, we're going to keep this positive momentum continuing. We're going to be shining our light, and we're going to be sharing it with you in the process. We're looking forward to next week's edition of the Children's Book Spotlight Series. We're going to go across the pond to one of our newest neighbors for episode number 88 of the Children's Book Spotlight Series. One of our newest neighbors, children's author Matt Tandy, is going to be joining us to share his brand new release, Jack's Secret Garden. It's a wonderfully rhythmic, poetic tale about a boy and his adventures in a world of imagination. He is introduced to an amazing family secret and guided on his journey by a wonderful bond between father and son. And it is true, with a little imagination, anything is possible. So that is going to be next week's installment of the Children's Book Spotlight Series. We're actually going to be taking a couple of week break, actually, to prepare for some wonderful things that we are kind of alluding to, but we haven't necessarily shared here fully on the Children's Book Spotlight Series, as we are preparing for our forthcoming move out to San Diego, California in the coming months ahead as well, too. But if you are enjoying what you hear and see here on the Children's Book Spotlight Series, you will, of course, love what it is that we share for the little ones as part of our Storytime with Mr. Jonathan series. So we will be returning this Thursday, August the 6th, with episode number 16 of the Storytime with Mr. Jonathan. We'll be traveling to the UK. There's something about the UK right now at this point in time. But one of our favorite neighbors, Darren Garwood, he is the creator of the fantastic children's book series, Jackson Superhero, his first installment of the Jackson Superhero series, Jackson Saves an Owl. We're going to be sharing with all of your little ones this forthcoming Thursday, August the 6th at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. Now, Jackson Superhero may not be a real name, but it is a story about a real boy. And as the name suggests, Jackson is far from ordinary. By day, a rare disease, Krabbe's disease, limits his ability to freely move, but at night he is far from grounded. When the sleeping hours come around and weightlessness takes over, Jackson takes to the skies. He knows what it means to need the support of others, which is why when he hears a call for help, he is quickly there to lend a helping hand. So in addition, of course, to sharing Jackson Saves an Owl, the first installment of the Jackson Superhero series, we will be sharing valuable lessons from the heart of our favorite neighbor, Mr. Rogers, on the importance of helping others. So again, over the course of these next several days alone, between episode number 16 of the Storytime with Mr. Jonathan and episode number 88 of the Children's Book Spotlight series, we have 2 full weeks of amazing programming for you, for your little ones here at Empowered Publicity. And again, beginning after our 17th episode of the Storytime with Mr. Jonathan next Thursday, we're going to be taking a 2-week break because we've been providing regular content. We've been doing some great work, and we're so blessed to have been able to do this over the course of the past several months. We just need a little time for R&R and recharging, so we will be returning back again on August the 27th. So just to make a little bit of a note in the process, we also want to acknowledge all of those in our neighborhood who are sharing birthdays tonight and this week. Some of our favorite neighbors here at Empowered Publicity. We just want to mention some of you who are celebrating birthdays tonight and this week. Some very gifted children's authors right off the bat. Kelly Hay Varunius, who is an amazing children's author out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada, who has penned the brand new release, Hi, I'm Me. Sherelle Owens Gaston, an amazing Christian children's author from Toledo, Ohio. She is celebrating her birthday this evening. And there are many that are celebrating their birthdays over the course of the coming days ahead. Such another amazing children's author, Mandy Lee, is celebrating her birthday. Let's see here. There's so many birthdays here. So many birthdays. One of our favorite neighbors up in Canada, north of the border, Francis Peach, is celebrating his birthday. One of our favorite neighbors here in the Buffalo, New York area, who is turning 80 years young, Joanna Dorpy, is celebrating her birthday as well. And one of our favorite neighbors here, he's a proud alumnus of the Trader Joe's family in Buffalo. We had many great conversations over the years. Demetrius Kemp is celebrating his birthday. And one of our dearest mentors along our path, of PR from the heart here at Empowered Publicity, Chad Lefevre. He is celebrating his birthday. So those are just some of the members of our neighborhood, some of our friends and neighbors who are celebrating their birthday. So to all of you, if you were a little one at heart, the inner child in you, as a little tip of the cap to our favorite neighbor, happy birthday, dear friends, we sing to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. We thought we'd try to tell you how we love you on your birthday. We thought we'd try to sing and dance and play today. We wanted to surprise you on your birthday and say that we love you every day, not just today. Happy birthday, dear friends, we sing to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. So may this be the most magical, blessed, and love-filled year of your entire life. Because if you have been enjoying just what's been happening in 2020, or maybe if you have been wondering, when are things going to get better? Well, it begins right now. So once again, before we wind down our time, for all of our friends and neighbors who spend some time with us here this evening and this week here in our neighborhood, special thanks to our featured guest, Melanie Lococo, children's author and mentor, who has created the brand new children's book and coloring book, I Am Light, I Am Bright. It is now available at Amazon.com. While on Amazon, if you feel guided to do so, you can leave your very own 5-star review for Melanie in the process. If you are a teacher, librarian, or principal and you would like to schedule your very own virtual visit for Melanie to be able to share I Am Light, I Am Bright with your students, we have Melanie's email address and her Facebook page, in addition to the Amazon link for I Am Light, I Am Bright in the comments below. If you are a children's author, if you are a children's illustrator, and you would like to share your inspiring story and the release of your brand new children's book, just like Melanie did here this evening and this week on the Children's Book Spotlight Series, if you would like to become a featured guest on the Children's Book Spotlight Series this fall, you can connect with us at empoweredpublicity.com, or you can connect with us on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Empowered Publicity, Twitter at Empowered_PR. If you would like us to share your brand new children's book, if you are a children's author, you would like to become a member of the Empowered Publicity family and would like for us to share your brand new children's book as part of the story time with Mr. Jonathan, just as we are doing for Darren Garwood this forthcoming Thursday, you know how to connect with us at empoweredpublicity.com or any of our social media platforms. If you would like to learn a little bit more information about Empowered Publicity, how we can be of service to you in your next steps as we enter our 7th year of PR from the heart, if you would like to learn more information about facilitating your own virtual media tour, your own book and media tour in a city of your choosing, or if you would like to learn more information about our media coaching and mentoring program, you can schedule your own courtesy discovery call at empoweredpublicity.com and connect with us via any of our social media platforms. And again, see how we can be of service to you, as we are very blessed to be able to help and support all of you in your next steps and to be able to help you shine your light and share it with others. Before we forget, let us not forget our 2 favorite series of numbers here at the Children's Book Spotlight Series and at Empowered Publicity. The first is 143. And in the language, the religion of Mr. Rogers, 143 means more than just the weight that Mr. Rogers weighed for his entire natural adult life. 143 means that I love you. 1 letter in I, 4 letters in love, 3 letters in you. But of course, one of the things that we always remind you here at the Children's Book Spotlight Series and here at Empowered Publicity, that you are never alone. So we'd like to incorporate a little 243 if we may. As Melanie spent some time with us here in our neighborhood this evening and this week, 243 means that we love you. This has been such an exciting way to begin the month of August, where that Leo energy is definitely being felt. So to take the time tonight, the last thing that we want to share with all of you, our friends and neighbors, our listeners and viewers, when there is a full moon in the sky, you can see the stars in the sky even more so. So we encourage you tonight or even tomorrow, whenever you happen to be enjoying episode number 87 of the Children's Book Spotlight Series, to take the time to look up to the sky and see the stars, because they are a mirror. They are reflecting the light that you have within your light. They're reflecting the light that you have within your heart and within your life. So to take the time to just allow yourself to enjoy that. And just again, what happens over the course of the coming days, and weeks ahead. We want to thank all of you for your support of Empowered Publicity for the Children's Book Spotlight Series. If this message has brought hope, healing, love into your heart or the heart of your little one, we encourage you, our fellow neighbors, to share our heartfelt conversation, the message of shining your light and sharing it with others, and Melanie's brand new children's book, coloring book, I Am Light, I Am Bright. The first trolley stop on Empowered Publicity's back to school season. We encourage you to share episode number 87 of the Children's Book Spotlight Series on Facebook or your favorite social media platforms of choice. Let us not forget the message of our favorite neighbor, Mr. Rogers. He reminds us and all of you that you are perfect, you are whole, you are healthy, you are complete, that you are loved, that you are special just the way that you are. That we like you just the way that you are. So thank you not only for all of your support for us here at Empowered Publicity, but more importantly, thank you for the support of the children's authors and the illustrators across the country and around the world. And above all else, thank you for taking the time to walk home the children of the world. So for Melanie Lococo, for myself, Jonathan Masiulionis, we will see all of you, our friends and neighbors, this forthcoming Thursday. We, of course, have to hop back aboard the trolley, which travels by beams of light. We will see all of you this forthcoming Thursday for episode number 16 of the Storytime with Mr. Jonathan, where we will be sharing Darren Garwood's Jackson Saves an Owl, the first installment of the Jackson Superhero series, and sharing Mr. Rogers' valuable lessons on helping others. And then next Monday, episode number 88 of the Children's Book Spotlight series, where we will stay across the pond with our newest neighbor, Matt Tandy, and sharing his inspiring story and the release of his brand new children's book, Jack's Secret Garden. Until we connect once again, friends and neighbors, we'll talk to all of you once again very soon. Thank you for spending some time with us here in our neighborhood and here at the Children's Book Spotlight series. Take care.
Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you so much.